My name is Galit, Sagie. I've been working at JDC-Israel for 13 and a half years already, most of the time working in ALCA, which was JDC's, still is actually, JDC's training and development unit for senior leadership in government and in the nonprofit sector. And today I am involved with a number of projects, planning and development all across JDC. And one of the most exciting projects that I'm involved with is looking at JDC's involvement with the environment, or rather how the environment influences vulnerable populations in Israel. One of the interesting things when we look at the environment is that, first of all, JDC is not an environmental organization. JDC is not looking to save the trees in Israel. It's not looking to reduce pollution emissions in Israel. So one of the questions we first asked ourselves was, what does the environment have to do with the vulnerable populations in Israel? And what we discovered is that they're the ones who are the primary victims of most environmental hazards. If we're talking about social gaps in Israel, if we're talking about economic gaps in Israel, then environmental gaps exist as well. And the same people who are the short end of the stick with regard to their economic situation and their social situation, at the same time they're usually the ones who do not have the access to a clean and healthy and green living environment. And we discover that that's important. We discover that that's important in two ways. First of all, because the environment that we live in influences our quality of life. If we're looking to improve the quality of life of Israel's vulnerable populations, then we have to create an environment where it's healthy for them to live in, where they can live a healthy lifestyle, where they can have sport and exercise, where they can have a green park in the place that they're living in, because that increases their quality of life on a number of different variables. People who live in a clean, healthy, green environment have better relationships between their neighbors, do better at school, have less violence. This is definitely something which influences the quality of life. And that's the first thing. The second thing is that we found that it can definitely be a way to empower communities. There's something about the place that you live in, that taking responsibility for it, that improving the way your neighborhood looks, that improving the way your house looks, that improving your lifestyle, these are very, very tangible things, that when you improve them, that when you invest in them, that when you take responsibility for them, it can be a huge tool for empowerment and a huge tool for strengthening communities. So for these two reasons, we've decided to make the environment another way that we improve the lives of the vulnerable communities in Israel.